All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video as we recap everything that happened down here on a Wednesday, September the 3rd, as the Niners prepare to travel to Seattle in Week 1 to take on the Seattle Seahawks in the 55th meeting of Niners-Hawks, a series that the Seahawks lead 31-23, but the Niners have won 3 in a row up there. In fact, Brock Purdy has never lost to the Seahawks in Seattle. And of course, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle. Check them out. 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. And they do run out, so get there early, get some brisket chili. Tell them that Krug sent you. All right, what happened down here in Santa Clara today? We talked to Kyle Shanahan. He talked today. He said that Yetur Gross-Matos and Jordan Watkins were out. They did not practice today. It's funny, every time I go to do a video, all of a sudden there's just massive noise, people drilling, light rail going by. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Limited today at practice were Jennings, Dom Pooney, and Jordan James. Shanahan said that Jennings is going to go Sunday against the Seahawks. The 49ers also named their captains today. It's Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, I believe Juwan Jennings, Trent Williams, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, and Demo Lenoir. I may have missed one in there. Oh, Juice. Juice is also a captain. Shanahan would not divulge who the Niners starting safeties would be. And later in the presser, he said he loved Jair Brown. I would imagine Jair Brown and Pinnock would be your starters at safety in this one, but we'll see. We'll see. Shanahan said it's not a big deal, but then when he was asked about it, he's like, but it's a little deal, so we're not going to tell you guys. Ah, wait, a plane is now flying over. Anything and everything to ruin this video. So the Niners did name their captains. Kyle wouldn't divulge what safeties or which safeties would start on Sunday. Kyle did say there's a chance that both Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Russell Gage both of those guys have a chance to be active on Sunday. It's such a tap dance. You know, they're taking MVS from the practice squad to the active roster, and they've got Gage, and they put him on the active roster. They put him back on the practice squad. And now they're going to activate him. I mean, it's just this gigantic musical chairs going on. What does it all mean? It just means that the Niners receiving corps is not that good. And a lot of these guys are hurt early, and they've got the suspension for Robinson. And so a lot is up in the air wide receiver-wise. Shanahan said that due to it being a loud environment, they will obviously be going with the silent count, and they've been practicing that this week in preparation for a loud, noisy environment up there at Lumen Field. I asked Kyle about Seattle's run game. Seattle's run for 5 yards a pop in the preseason, and he says it looks a lot like our run game. So, you know, I guess that means he'll know how to defend it. I also asked Kyle about Gus Bradley, and he just said that Bradley's just been an awesome addition to the team, and he really loves what he has contributed thus far. So, you know, there were a couple other news and notes today around the 49ers that we'll get to here as well. The Niners are going to start the year with the NFL's oldest O-line this year. Trent's 37, Barch is 27, Brendel's 32, Pooney's 25, McKivitz is 29. They make up the oldest offensive line in the NFL this year. Also, I saw today that the NFL Network's Rich Eisen and ex-Niner head coach Steve Mariucci are both picking the Rams to win the NFC West. And interestingly enough, on the same panel, Kurt Warner, the ex-Ram, is picking the Niners. And the ex-Cardinal is picking the Niners. So I thought that was kind of interesting, a little juxtaposition there. The Niners announced yesterday that they released Russell Gage from the active roster, but they intend to sign him to the practice squad and activate him for Week 1. They also promoted Marquez Valdez-Scantling from the practice squad to the active roster. The Niners also made a formal offer to Kendrick Bourne. And this is kind of interesting. Bourne is announced through his representatives. He is going to sit out this week, so he's not going to play for anybody. It was thought that maybe he would sign today. He's not going to sign with anybody today. He is going to weigh his options this weekend, and it sounds like he's maybe, I don't want to say hoping somebody gets hurt, but maybe hoping somebody gets hurt so he gets an opportunity somewhere else. But he's going to wait until after this weekend and kind of weigh his options and see where he's needed before he makes a decision. The Niners did make him a formal offer, so it's possible that he will weigh his options and decide to come here. I didn't see the Bourne report until after we talked to Shanahan. Otherwise, I would have asked Shanahan about that. Kyle did say that the Niners will have 5 wide receivers up for the Seattle game. My guess is it will be Pearsall, Jennings, Marquez, Valdez, Scantling, Gage, and Sky Moore. I think those will be the wide receivers that are up. He was asked about Isaac Guerendo's current status. Has he fallen behind with the addition of Brian Robinson? And Shanahan wouldn't say that. He just said, "Hey, man, he's competing. He's competing to play." He just left it at that. And then Kyle was asked, "Hey, do you have any lingering beef with JJ?" And of course, he never had any beef with JJ. He loves JJ. I mean, part of the reason that the Niners allowed JJ to sit out all summer with this calf injury is because they love him. They love him. They knew that the calf injury was dubious, but they love him. They know they can't pay him any money, so they gave him a wide berth and gave him free reign to do whatever the hell he wanted to do all summer. So this idea that they're warring, I think, is so comical. It's like, are we covering the same team? I mean, some of these questions, I gotta admit, are just pathetic. But Kyle said, "No, I have no lingering issues with JJ," and of course, he has no lingering issues with JJ. I think that was pretty much known by everybody, you would think, until that question popped up. We should also tell you this 49er football season on the Krug Show is presented by Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. That's right. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chat, season-long leagues, and of course, Sleeper picks for daily fantasy products. So use promo code Larry, Larry, real easy to remember, my name, Larry, and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. The link's in the description. Terms and conditions do apply. Thanks to Sleeper for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. All right, couple more notes. Unbelievably, according to some of the ticket broker people, the 49er fans will make up 53% of the crowd in Seattle at Lumen Field on Sunday. Now, wouldn't that be something if the Niners actually have a bigger fan base in that place than the Seahawks do? But it could happen, according to the people who put out the tickets. They're saying, "Hey, Niner," I don't know how they know this, but they're saying the Niner crowd is going to outdraw the Seahawk crowd 53% to 47%. Should be something to watch. Mike McDonald, by the way, is in year 2 as the head coach of the Seahawks. He had that great, successful Christmas night game plan against Kyle Shanahan with the Ravens a few years back. He's 10-7 after year 1 with Seattle. It's year 2 as the head coach. He's 1-1 against the Niners. He beat them here. They lost him up there. He's in his 11th year as an NFL head coach. Interestingly enough, the Niners are trying to win in week 1 for the 3rd year in a row. The last 2 years, the Niners have won in week 1. One other note, Defensive Rookie of the Year odds are out, and Abdul Carter is the plus 180 favorite. But guess who's in the second spot? Mikael Williams at 7-1, followed by Jalen Walker and Travis Hunter, both sitting there at 9-1. I do think it's interesting when we talk Niners and Seahawks that how Russell Wilson dominated the Niners. I mean, he was 17-4 against the Niners, and now Brock Purdy steps in and he's flipped the script. Purdy's 3-0 in Seattle. He's averaged 227 yards passing per game. He's got 6 touchdowns and 1 pick. Seattle used to be an awesome home team. Not any longer. They went 3-6 at home last year and 7-1 on the road. So the Niners have won 5 of 6 overall against Seattle, trying to make it 6 out of 7. And as I said, they've won 3 in a row in Seattle. And if the Niners win this one, it will make it 4 in a row in Seattle. It's the longest road streak against Seattle, since this series began. So Niners have a little ownage up there. Let's see if it can continue. 49ers, of course, looking to rebound from a 6-11 year. They missed the playoffs last year for the first time since 2020. To me, it's all about the defense. The Niners defense last year was 8th in total yards, so it was a top 10 defense in yards, but it was 27th in points allowed. So they just folded in the red zone, and we'll see if Saleh and Gus Bradley and the addition of 2 old veteran heads will be able to, more trains going by. Let's make more noise. We'll see if the Niners can be better on the defensive side of the ball in this thing. 49ers 2.5-point favorites to beat Seattle. And one last note here. We're going to throw in a little video here. Joe Montana, the great one himself, Joe Montana says that Brock Purdy is going to be a different player in 2025. And we pulled this off of Coach Yak's Twitter. Here's a little bit of Joe on Brock.
What do you think about this season? It feels like Christian McCaffrey back healthy is a much better place to be than where we were literally 1 year ago when we just learned. I don't know how much you knew before everybody else. When we find out that Christian McCaffrey has the word Achilles involved in anything, we obviously immediately worried. It was tendonitis. He basically missed all year. We found out like 3 days before the season started. That kind of dampened everything, and I think the season went bah, 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 bah. This year feels like could be a bounce back year for the Niners in a big way. How do you feel?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they definitely have the team to be able to go in and compete with anybody. Obviously with Christian coming back is a huge plus to that offense. Takes a lot of pressure off the quarterback. I think he got a little feeling the pressure where he felt like he had to do and contribute more instead of just going and doing what he'd done for his whole life and just be yourself. And we always have that tendency that we want to make the change and make it quick. And now we got to make something happen. And so I think he just got caught up in that, and I think you'll see a different player coming up this year.
Do you like Brock Purdy a lot, Joe? How have you got the chance to talk to him? It feels like you guys have similar mindsets. I'm not 100% sure if you feel that way, but he seems to be ultra competitive and very cool, which obviously you have similar traits.
Yeah, I mean, I really like him. He usually doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and he's careful with the football. He's got great placement of it, as you can see here, and I just think he's got the right demeanor. And everybody has those kind of years. I had them. Everyone you can go to and look around at anybody, Brady, everybody. When injuries start taking place, your whole team changes, and then the quarterback seems sometimes that it's all rides on their back. That they sometimes believe. And so they start doing things they wouldn't normally do. But I think he'll be fine.
All right, there we go. A little bit of Joe Montana talking about Brock Purdy. He says he's going to be a different player in 2025. He's like, hey, man, sometimes you have these years and the negativity and all the things that happen, it all falls on the head of the quarterback. And suddenly it's like, what is the quarterback doing wrong? In reality, he didn't do anything wrong. He just quarterbacked the team through a losing season. And Joe expects Brock to bounce back and have a great year, and I think I do as well. He had a fantastic camp, a fantastic preseason, and now it's bring on the Hawks. All right, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Sleeper for sponsoring this video, and thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.